Hello, everyone. Welcome to the PMQ live update for April 1st. I'm your host, Brian Hernandez, and today we are here with the CPA extraordinaire, Mr. Michael J. Rasmussen of HiTechCPA. He's going to be walking us through some of the new tax programs and relief systems that are going to be able to help out small businesses kind of stay afloat in these crazy times. So, Michael, why don't you just go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what you do for a living.
Well, thanks, Brian. I'm a CPA, 33 years, and I've written a lot of accounting for money articles for PMQ over the years. And then the virus hit, and all of a sudden, although I've been kind of helping other people, I hadn't really beefed up my practice a lot. But then all of a sudden, when this hit, it was all the loans, and my emails got flooded with like where to go find loans and how to get through this. And I kept going through site after site and attending seminar after seminar. And even me, I sat there and just went, oh my goodness, I can't keep up. So I don't know if there's anybody out there like that, but that was me. So I reached out to Steve Green over there at PMQ, and I said, you know what? There was an article last night, or an interview that maybe some of you would have saw, which was about the independent oil operators. And in the United States, and it was Rick Perry out of Texas that basically said, if the independents go down, this country's going to be in a sad state of affairs. So I called Steve this morning and just said, we need to have that same attitude, vision, and act right now for independent pizzerias. So what I did is basically put together a site to gather all the data in basically on a daily basis, and so that I can post it somewhere that people can go get trained, make it easy, self-educate, which is what people like to do. Like here I am in my office upstairs, and then go to the sites, and we can all be available to coach people through that maybe not know how to go get the $10,000 loan that I'll talk about real quickly. Okay. So I've created a site. Go ahead.
Okay, well, that's what I was going to say. You've sent us a PDF, and we can find that somewhere. First off, I want to acknowledge everybody joining on here. Make sure to ask your questions either through Facebook Live or in the webinar itself. We have a great attendance in the webinar. You're very popular today, Mike. So we're looking for some good information. And if you see Mike looking up, those are his notes. So he's not spacing off. He knows what he's talking about. He's just making sure that he gets it out to you in the order you need to know it. So again, everybody, you can either use the chat function in the Zoom webinar, or you can just type it up right here. And Brian Weevil says, good morning, guys. So good morning, Brian. So without further ado, I'm going to put up this, basically this is a PDF. And where's this going to be available at?
So what I'll do is every day we're going to do a daily recipe briefing. Now, don't think it's corny, but basically what it's going to be is it's going to be an email that I'll send to people. And what's going to be, it'll be 3 pages. The first is a little inspiration, a little bit about what's going on in the trusted websites. If you can scroll down a little bit, Brian,
yeah,
you're going to see I'm only going to put links in there that are HTTPS secure. Not that one yet, so keep going.
Okay.
So when you all get this, after we do these shows or when I send these out every day, you're going to see all the HTTPS sites. So you've got the CDC, IRS, SBA, US Chamber, and then I'll give 1 to 3 recipes every day. And the recipe is this, is basically like the Paycheck Protection program. That is a program, and then I'm going to have an action. So I'll briefly describe it and then have an action, and you'll be able to go directly to the link. So for example, keep scrolling down. Let's go to the economic injury disaster loan. This is the advanced, scroll back up, sorry. Oh. And there is it'll be the middle page there. There will be a application. If you're in business by January 31 of 2020, you can actually go and apply for a $10,000 advance. And if you spend the money a correct way, which you can be coached by your CPA or some of us that know this, you can actually have that loan forgiven. So it's basically a grant. And in this document, you can just click off. So where we've posted everything I've shown you right here is you can scroll all the way back up to the top, Brian, and go to, we created a site called mycovidcpa.com, and we can walk through just how this works. And it's basically a training site that allows you to enroll for free, which Brian has already done. And then we've taken these documents and we have posted those in a place that you can actually walk through.
Okay, so it's going to be in the My COVID CPA right here.
There you go. You can go resume your course there. So again, this is for free. And I'm looking at, working with Steve Green and PMQ, the whole team going, let's get information to people. So a couple things can happen. You can actually go into your COVID CPA. You have the bullet points down there on the left. And then you could actually send some specific ones to me, but you can go through the SBA, and let's go the economic injury, the first one there. That's the advance. So right here is a brief description. Again, it's a brief description on what it is. And then you can go ahead and click on the application. So go ahead and click on that link right there.
All right, hold on one second. I was looking at the,
okay.
Trying to get to the questions. I'll get right back there.
Oh, okay.
Everything sync down here. It's going to be easier for me to jump back in here. So click on where?
So click on that link, economic injury disaster loan. So people will hear about, how do I get my 10,000 bucks? Which I'm assuming anybody out there right now is going, how's that work? So you can read briefly about it here and then click on that link. It's going to take you right to the SBA. So let's start the process. Here is truly the SBA site. I'm going to go to choose one. So why don't you, if you're an applicant with business not more than 500 employees. So let's say you're a restaurant owner and you basically have, under 500 employees. And so then what you do is you only pick one of the top ones, scroll down to review and check all the following. You'll answer those. You better answer a checkbox in each one of those. I can tell you the app won't probably be considered. So it just wants to know that you're not out, lobbying, and you can read the rest of them. Go ahead and go to continue. And then you're going to fill out your business information. You're going to look back for the past 12 months. You'll see everything here, but scroll down a little bit, Brian. I want to help all the attendees, especially on a restaurant, on what to pick. So go to, keep going, and you're going to see current business activity. Click on the options there. Keep going down.
It's as far as I can go. I think I got to fill it all out.
Yeah, but it's right. You'll see business activity on the left. It's towards the bottom.
Oh, yes, okay.
There you go.
Oh, click. I got it. Drop downs.
Yeah, do the top one first. Business, there you go. Yeah. So you'll want to pick probably eating and drinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do that. And then go to the detailed business. There you go. We're being told if you go through this and pick eating and drinking, the restaurants, all of those are on a top priority.
Okay.
So what this information is going directly, and so if you can think about this, what is a person going for a $10,000 loan? Do they have their own little small business that supports any eating and drinking establishment? These are going to go moved up, at least from what we're hearing, they're going to be paid a lot of attention to.
So the bars are getting less consideration than like your food and restaurant, like the restaurant?
This total screen, anything right there. Yeah, the bar, catering, ice cream shops, all of those.
Oh,
anything, okay. any one of those, right?
All right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. They were just put up there. So anything else would be other or none of the below?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. So you put your number of employees. So if you're a business, it doesn't have to be a C Corp, an S. It can be a sole proprietorship. Go in and fill this information out. Right now, what I'm showing you is we're halfway through with the form. It took me 20 minutes. My application was in 2 days ago. In theory, what they're saying is that it should be in our bank account. At the end of this, a couple of things. You should probably use a bank account that you maybe don't use so often, so you're not giving that to the the government and all. And it's not that that's bad. It's just that you might pick one like a savings account. But you do enter your routing and your bank account at the end. And after 20 minutes, I will tell you, as of right now, I haven't had any correspondence, but I'm checking back. And in theory, I should have some number between 0 and 10,000 in the next couple days. So by the time I do my next seminar, you guys will be able to say. So we're encouraging every business owner that was in business at January 31 of 20 to go in and go through this process, and whether even what kind of business you have, and start the process. They're kind of saying SBA, what we're hearing on all the forums, it's a not a first come first serve, but in my intuition I would say yes. Question, ask me.
Okay. Well, I don't know that there is one yet. I was just looking at it. Hold on one sec. I'm going to pull that back up. I did say, I guess we do have that link up there too. I guess Carmela's saying that the attachment's right there, so it's easy for you guys to click onto it and go right there. So I think Blake maybe put that up when I was asleep this morning. So
let me, and I'll go through another one with you.
Okay.
So then if you can show your screen again,
Yep.
Let me walk you through, or go back to the My COVID CPA, and let me go to the Paycheck Protection Program. And again, I want to bring that to people's attention.
Yeah, that's an important one, I think, right now. Sure.
Right there, there's the application, the Paycheck Protection Program application. You can see that. There you go.
This one right here.
There you go. Yeah,
Sample.
just do that. Okay. So what this program, you can read about it, or if you're CPA, either message me on it or go to your CPA. But this Friday, this application is now readable, which is fillable. So you can start entering the information, which I encourage people to do. So by Friday, you can have this information in, and you take it into your bank, and the bank will look at it, and they're the ones that execute the loans. It's no personal guarantee, and your bank should have a relationship. There's 1,800 banks in the country. So you take this application in, sit with your banker. I would make your appointment, and on Friday, they should have a way to submit it. I will tell you that I'm married to a banker, and banks are scrambling right now. So if you don't have one that is like on top of their game, kind of like we all are right now, and can help you on Friday, you need to find somebody that really understands this program. Secondly, it's really misconstrued. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, I was just going to say that John Ferguson was asking, will this be available at pmq.com? Now, I know this is. We just kind of scrambled yesterday to get this thing up and running for you guys. So, Steve Green, I know you're in here. Might take him a second to get his mic unmuted. Where are we going to be putting this on PMQ for pmq.com for people to find as well? And then, yeah, like unmute. There we go.
Am I here?
Yep, you're there, Steve.
Okay, great. Coronavirus, pmq.com/coronavirus.
Okay, so all this info, all these PDFs and all these are linked to this site is going to be at that pmq.com/coronavirus.
I believe that's true. If it's not true now, it will be very shortly.
Okay, so that's where we're going to try to put that. That'll probably be the top story. That also has all the other stories that PMQ has been doing about the coronavirus situation, how other people are managing it too. So it's just, all the stories that we've been getting, trying to get that information out. So Blake, if you're listening, go to pmq.com/coronavirus in some kind of story. So that's where we're going to send it for you guys. All right, so continue.
Hey, Brian.
Yes.
It's pmq.com/coronavirus. Right?
Yes.
Okay, just to clarify. All right.
All right, Mike, continue, sir.
Okay, so the Paycheck, this program is up to $100,000 loan, and there's a look back period, and it's based on wages. As you can see right there, it's average monthly payroll times a factor of 2.5, and you're looking back for the last 12 months. So what's important about this is that if you look back, have somebody help you complete this, you fill out all the boxes, and all the boxes every box means something. So be careful when you check a box yes or no, or you enter information. There are already a lot of fraudsters out there that are trying to have you fill it out a certain way and then redirect you. This is the form. It should come off of one of our sites, or it should come off of the SBA site directly, but that's why we're sending you to the link there. Once you enter your payroll, the bank then actually distributes the money to, so they got to participate with this as well. When you get the money and you use it for rent, payroll, utilities, and other few expenses, that as long as you do that properly and you don't fire all your force, if you do this properly and follow all the rules, that loan is discharged. In other words, it's forgiven. So there are rules to all of those on what we have to do. So if you can think about, I'm in Arkansas, picking a hog's going to look at this, take the money and go buy a boat. Someone who's really helping the independent pizzeria is going to fill it out. And the whole idea is to keep your payroll on board for the next till June 30, which is why we're doing this every day, because the rules, and we're going to see people taking advantage of the system. Should I check a box here on this question? Should we, how does this work when I have multi-units? So there's going to be a myriad of questions, of which then every day, as I field questions, either from this or any interactions I have in my practice, I'm going to be doing my daily briefing on someone asked a question on how to do this, and that's what's going to come up after people start filling out the forms.
Yeah, it's just as soon as somebody asks that one question that everybody else is going to ask too. So, John Ferguson again of Ferg & Dan's here in Oxford, Mississippi. Glad you joined us today, John. He wants to know, how do we tell if our bank is an approved lender, or find the best one in our area?
Pick up the phone. I mean, let me tell you, my wife was like, "Don't do this seminar today." She's like, "We're not ready."
Oh, shoot. Okay. All right.
Don't do this, Mike. And I said, "Look, my job is to help the independent pizzerias. You know me." And I said, "We got to get this information out. If I don't know it, if I'm struggling, others have got to be struggling to get the info. Call them. In fact, set an appointment Friday. Say, I'm coming over."
Go. Yeah. So what is the first, just real quick, what is the first thing people should be doing? What's the very first deadline in all these things, or the one that's going to pass soon?
So today, or which happened earlier this week, was the $10,000 advance. That was the first recipe I gave, which was the link. Yep. And the second one is this Paycheck Protection. And you really need to find out your bank, because it goes live. The SBA is authorizing these loans starting Friday based on this application. So you should be gathering the information, which is why we put it out here, and then start contacting someone who helps you with the books, or actually, and call your banker and make sure you get over there, set an appointment and go, how does this work? And politely, basically just go, or respectfully, people are scrambling. Brian, no one has a specific answer to this. That's why I'm doing this every day. It is, if you only saw everybody scrambling to have the silver bullet of how to help people get through the process, we did the best we could to put something together quickly. And then the final one is another, what's called a express. So why don't you go down to the express? It's Paycheck Protection.
I just wanted to say too, hold on, Scott Lewis, I do see your question. We'll get to that in 1 second, but let me just go ahead and do this. Now, these deadlines, they're not deadlines. These are when these things go live. So they just started yesterday, and they're starting on Friday.
That's right. Okay. I wanted to be able to tip people off and go, it's coming, here's where you go, and go to a HTTPS. So if you would hit SBA loan there, it's the middle radio button. There you go. So the first one is that economic. The second one is, let's go to the bridge loan. Click on the SBA bridge loan. What this one is up to $25,000. It's a quick turnaround. And again, this is if you're in business and it is a forgivable debt. You can click on, well, you can go to your bank, and the banks actually handle this one too. So when you're asking them, the bank, your bank, about a Paycheck Protection or a emergency loan, and that's a great link. So there is emergency, the Department of Commerce, U.S. Chamber of Commerce shows you where to download that, and we've downloaded it to our site. So you're able to download a lot of information. We've just put it in one place. And as you can see, it's in Spanish as well. Those are the 3 loan programs, grant programs that can actually be convertible if you follow the SBA's guidelines. So if you're all sitting out there thinking, I'm going to go get a Harley or a boat or whatever your favorite toy is, the compliance and follow up with this, there's going to be a whole task force on where the money's spent. So this $357 billion that's being thrown out there to go out on loans, they'll be forgiven, and the rules are right now, but they'll be more clarified over time. or as people abuse them.
All right.
Make sense?
So
Yeah.
no boats.
You do what you want, Brian.
Well, we do have a couple more questions here. I wanted to address those real quick, and then we can move on to the next one.
Okay.
Scott in St. Louis, through the webinar, is actually asking, does the amount entered monthly in the payroll include employer tax withholding?
No, gross wages.
Gross wages. All right.
Yep.
And then Jim King through Facebook Live is asking, can you use this if your employees have already been laid off? And that's a good question, I think, because it's starting to happen now, and other people might not see this and have already just laid off their employees.
And can I answer? Go back. Can you show my sheet? Show the first daily briefing sheet.
The PDF. Hold on one second.
Yeah, I wanted to help everybody instead of just blurting out. I'll share a story. One of my family members, and here it is. I basically put that on there because stop the bleeding and don't wait for an advisor. I can let everybody know on the call, really don't wait for your CPA or someone who thinks has the best interest in your operations and wait for them to advise you. So I'm saying the answer to that is, here's a lot of links. I can give you a quick response, but the best thing is to get out there, use some of the links and start digging. Don't wait for them to operate on your operation. So I am constantly in connection with restaurant owners going, what do I do here? What do I do there? Multi-unit, just like the guest asked. It is, don't wait for an advisor to do this.
Well,
so,
I like the quote, if I had 6 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. I mean, that makes sense. Already have it ready to go. Fill out as much as you can. If you have questions, reach out to people at that point. But, again, don't wait. So
don't wait for an advisor to call you and go, did you see?
Okay.
Be extremely proactive and go, I'm sorry, bother them. Pick up the phone and call the CPA or the banker right after this call. Sign up for the $10,000. Consider the other options. Do a couple hyperlinks. Get a hold of your CPA and your bank.
Okay.
There's my challenge.
All right. Well, very good. And also, just back to Jim King's question there. If you've already laid off your employees, can this the payroll loan be used towards that?
It depends.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, as part of the Paycheck Protection Program, that's the other timeliness of this. That calculation starts today. So it's from April 1 to June 30. So
that's the Payroll Protection Program though at the bottom here, right?
That's right.
Okay.
So in answer to that question, did it matter up to today? No. So when you're going through the whole process, it's from today forward on how you go apply and how many people you have. So, and as a typical CPA would say, except for, it's a great question. And so I'm going to, if they could send you or an email where we can interact right after we get off this, I will take questions like that and go find some information and point them to something that people can read.
And as soon as it's done in the comments, we'll put these links, because I know you have a page where all this stuff is, as well as pmq.com/coronavirus that also has the other stories. So since a lot of this stuff already happened and starting today and or Friday, we want to get this information to you guys as soon as possible. And I'll put my email in there, brian@pmq.com. You can reach out to me and I can forward it on to Mike and get you guys in touch. But so, I mean, keep the questions coming, guys, because this, like I said, if you have a question, somebody else probably does too. So, all right, Mike, I'm sorry. Go ahead and continue. We were at the Payroll Protection Plan.
Okay. So I would say then there are, let's just say that you're on the Paycheck Protection Program, and a lender, there's a fact sheet for a lender. So they're like, well, we don't really know what that is. You might just print that out and give it to them. And then there's a sample application. So again, in working yourself through those radio buttons, you can basically click on each one and either simply read it and or print it out. You can download it or start poking around the SBA site as well.
Okay, and we are actually trying to set this up, as Mike had said, daily. We're still going to be doing the other PMQ live updates with the people I've scheduled, but this one's going to be a little far more condensed as items come up, something that we can address in like 15 minutes. like Mike's tip of the day type thing. So again, if you guys have any specific questions, send them in, because that might be something that he needs to look into and we'll address. So,
Right. And scroll down to IRS, and I'll leave on this one is some of you are out there going, wow, what's going to it's a radio button on the left there.
yeah.
There you go. You can just say.
Oh, just the first initiative. Okay.
Yeah. So if y'all can believe, our IRS came out with a new initiative called the IRS People First Initiative. And you can read a little, but bottom line is they love you. And they've hired a person. And what's interesting about it is there are, if you scroll down a little bit, a lot of us, I've met several operators that maybe have installment agreements or how the payroll tax are working, or this has just put them into a situation where they got to do an offer and compromise or something. We're now just given this, and we have the CPAs and tax advisors that go out to the world. We basically have to have new rules, and a lot of our compliance and how we do things are being extended, which is great. There's non-filers. So I would say, again, when you pick up the phone after this and call your CPA, it would be, do I have any of these things going on? And am I able to defer maybe some of the actions coming against me? Watch this one. Go down to the bottom where it says automated liens and levies. New automatic systematic lien will be suspended during this period. So let's just say we kick the can and the payroll taxes don't get done, or because there's a lot of confusion right now. They've turned off this little tool with the IRS that basically kicks out these automatic if you don't do things right. And everyone's probably got those letters. So this is something also you should print and just walk into your CPA and go, not to make the person, him or her, feel bad. It is just say, look, if I've got one of these things, tell me how to handle it with these, at least during this period.
So it sounds like there's forgiveness on some of the little mistakes that people might make. They're not going to harass.
Correct. Correct. Well, as much.
I'll
be nice.
This is a lot of, great information in here. And so we've got that over here. It seems like it's a pretty easy website to remember. mycovidcpa.com, guys. You can go there and enroll for free. It took me all of 20 seconds. And, just get in there and kind of walk through this. Look at it as soon as possible, because if you have questions, we want to address those as soon as possible. Are there any end dates for these? I know that these things kind of just went live. Are there deadlines on the back end as well to get it done?
Sure. That's why we're all coordinating through the SBA. Many of their programs are through June 30. So that's why every day I want to go through, hopefully except for the weekends, but every day is to give out new information. And I can go to an SBA site, Brian, and it's changed the next day. Mm-hmm. It went from a PDF to a fillable PDF for the Paychecks program. So it is June 30, and that's what they're shooting for, is that this whole thing is going to kind of reside. I am convinced after June 30, all of these programs that were put in by the family, all the 3 stimulus packages that we all hear about, although they, in theory, expire then, I'll bet they're extended. Somehow, some way, they're all going to be extended. Yeah.
Okay, great. I do have a couple more questions. Was there anything else that you wanted to address really quick before we maybe kind of?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I got this from Randy Wesley. Sorry, I almost read it as Ron Weasley, but that's because I'm a nerd. I apologize, Randy. I really do. But he says he has the same concern about his employees. He laid them off with the intention of rehiring, but the LA Workforce Commission was not giving benefits unless they were laid off, which I've heard that too. You have to kind of lay them off or fire them before they get benefits. Reduction in hours is not working. He had to lay them off because economically he could not pay them. He doesn't have the revenue to pay them. Is something like this going to help him after the fact, retroactively get these guys benefits or be able to bring them back?
So I tell you, I'm gonna take these questions and I'll get an answer, and we will figure out to put it on PMQ. Yeah, I haven't had that one yet.
Well, that's perfect. All these questions are on here, so I will make sure to print off the webinar questions and send them to you, as well as they're going to stay live on PMQ's Facebook page. And then we have another question. If your business is presently operating, are you covered with the Paycheck Protection program? Some employees might get sick and then you'll be unable to operate your small business.
So great. Right now, it's covered, but there's going to be new rules as people start using this. This is so new, and I wish I could ask, please, everybody, it is every day we're going to be learning. And yeah.
Well, no, go ahead. And you're probably, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
More than likely, we're going to get daily updates of interpretations from SBA. And so we're as connected as I'm trying to stay as connected as be to get a, exact response. So if someone hears otherwise or gets advised, that's great to hear. And then I'm going to go as far up to the source as I can to get a good answer. So we are pretty connected at the CPA or at the SBA. I've got several advisors I can bounce off of, and we're just creating a community so we can all get in there together and save this independent pizzeria world. That's really a goal. We all thrive and survive.
All right. Well, also, I want to get that last push out there for questions. But I kind of had a question, just kind of being ignorant, not having owned the business, just kind of managed it, not have to deal with all the financials of it. Like as far as like unemployment, is that covered by your the payroll protection, or is that something different? Because they are offering, what is it, like 100% of your salary plus $600?
Oh, okay. So that is different than everything I've shared here. That unemployment is basically state driven, but if you're on unemployment with the state, the Fed is going to give another $600 per week, and that's up to 10 weeks. So there's 2 rules on that. I'll post that up to the site as well. So you can, if you're diagnosed, that's where you get $510 a day for the next for the next 10 weeks. And then if you know a family member that's been diagnosed, you're able to get up to $200 a day, up to $10,000 up through June 30. Got all that, Brian?
Nope. It was
I know. So what's easy is people are going to read about it, and then I'll post the rules up there that you can slowly walk through instead of this presentation. Make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that being something completely different, is it,
Yep.
I had a question, but I was trying to get back to this page real quick. I want to make sure that everybody has a chance to get some questions in. So Steve, CEO and publisher of PMQ Pizza Magazine, has been watching. I wondered if you had any questions, Steve, anything like that?
Yeah, I wanted you, you pretty much talked about it. You were mentioning that Derek we've had some operators that have decided to close their business down. Mike, do you see any economic reason for why anybody would close their pizzeria? As if they would be economically better advantaged to do that? Because obviously there's tons of marketing reasons why you want to stay involved in the community, and this is your moment to serve customers. But are there any variations in unemployment benefits that you would recommend under any circumstances that people would close their business?
Well, I'll give an easy one. These are loans that potentially could be forgiven if you follow the rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you apply for a loan, you're normally applying for a loan because there's an upside and you have for the business. That's why we do projections and loans. Well, treat this like you're going to get a loan. So in other words, if you're looking at your business and there's no possible way you're going to be able to do takeout and with your lobby closed, you better think twice about trying to keep people on the Paycheck Protection. Just because the money's there, if you don't meet the qualifications the SBA put out there, you're not going to get the loan forgiven. So think real hard of trying to, what should I do or go. First and foremost, you don't always buy a car for tax reasons. You buy a car economically. And then the tax reasons are right back beside it. At least that's what I teach. So when you're looking at it, these are loans. And so you're looking at a business. So if you're going to keep your employees on these next 10 weeks and pay them the government's saying, great, but you better figure out something else for them to do. Do they answer the phones? Do they do social media? Do they do DoorDash? Do they take some different roles to be able to keep their job at that pay? And so that you can come out of this by June 30. And then, Steve, you asked me that at June 30. This is going to be a whole nother answer. I'm sorry.
Let me just take this opportunity to butt in. I'll butt out here and listen. But I do want to thank you so much, Mike, for responding to the request to come forward. You've been advising PMQ, writing for us for 16 or 17 years. I don't remember what it is. But you've been so heroic. You've worked so long on this, and I really appreciate you stepping up and trying to help our industry. Thank you very much.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. I think we all need to do it together. I don't have all the answers, but I'm doing the best I can and seeking the best counsel we can out there. But together, we can get through this, and the independent pizzerias can thrive. We just can't do it alone. So,
absolutely.
Need help.
Well, and actually, we do have 3 questions. I didn't realize that the Q&A was separate from the chat. But Derek Tung, I know he was one of the first panelists that we had on this show, and he's been dealing with unemployment, and he had questions too. He's wanting to know if you can mix the EIDL and PPP.
Yes, you can, Derek.
All right. Well, that was easy.
Yep.
Nice one. All right.
Yep.
We got 2 more here. It's Kathleen. Is it Catherine Jacobs? I'm sorry, your name just kind of shortened there. But she wants to know if your business is operating, but employees might get sick. Can you be covered with that Paycheck Protection program? I think it was similar to the one that we had just asked. If you have them and you get the Paycheck Protection and then they get sick, they're still covered, or?
So, Catherine, I'm going to respond to this and get back to however we're going to get back to everybody. But my answer to that is there better be an out for when you basically get on the program and someone is going to have the virus. I just haven't read that yet. So.
Okay. But the information is coming, Catherine, I'm sorry, your name was right there. I'm going to click on it anyway. Yeah, it shortened it. Anyway, so here's Keith again, or a different Keith, I think. Is the advance and the bridge loans contingent on the operator accepting the larger SBA loan on the backside?
Not the $10,000 advance, but I believe the bridge is. So, but again, I'll get you back, Keith, and I will jump on and get you guys an answer to that. And when I get an answer, I'm going to point you directly to a site so we can all learn together. Fair? Yeah, I mean, that's right.
Well, yeah, we're going to try to do these in like 15-minute increments about having, just updates, daily updates. And what we're going to do is it would make, it's going to be the most sense to take questions from the day before and get them answered. But are you going to be posting these answers? Where are you going to be posting these answers? That I'm going to send you all the questions that we had today. Where are you going to post them?
Why don't you and we'll work with Steve on it. Preliminarily, I can put it on ours, and then we'll work together with PMQ since we put this together in the last 24 hours, so that it's really clear to people where to go get answers.
Well, I would suggest, Stephen Blake, that we put these as other articles on pmq.com/coronavirus and just do them as an article. And you just address each question once you learn it.
Great.
So if there are any other questions, I think we're about done here. Oh, wait, there we go. So, Leo, what if you have minimal employees? Can you add owner salary? Ooh, that's a good one.
As long as it's under 100 grand.
Good answer. He had that one ready to go. All right.
Yeah.
All right, and Adam Payton, he wants, can you go over the 10K? I guess maybe if you go, can you go over if the 10K is forgivable again? I'm not sure if I'm wording that correctly.
It is forgivable. That is the one right now that everyone should go through. It's what we're being told. It's based on your credit score, and there is not a mechanism now to go double check where we spend our $10,000. So for example, I had personally went through it, had a consulting contract, and that's what really got me on this, went through the process, and it's supposed to be for business expenses. Well, as you all know, how do you define business expenses to the operation that you have? So Adam, it is forgivable, and there's a lot of ways to spend that money. So that is probably the first one out the gate just to get used to how the SBA is interacting with you and getting your information is a perfect way to start. And that's one of the first one that you can go link to. So.
All right. Well, very good. I mean, so again, you know, I guess if it's as long as it's not like a business motorcycle or something like that, it's forgivable.
Yeah. We don't know the compliance. How is the IRS going to hire a bunch of people to go after people who get the money for $357 billion? So the reality is you just don't be, you know,
Don't be greedy.
There you go. Sounds good. You said it.
Well, yeah, I did. All right, so we got another one. We got a couple more. I knew you were going to be popular, Mike. People want this information, and it's really hard to kind of weed through it. So if you do keep your business open, if it's an artisan bakery and you're supplying bread for your stores, does PPP work for you, or would you just have to pay it back? If you do keep your business open as it's an artisan bakery and you're supplying bread for your stores or maybe other stores, does the PPP work for you? I'm sorry, Anonymous. You can send another question maybe to clarify. Do you understand what they're asking? Oh, Mike just froze. There, Michael. Okay, well, when he tries to jump back in here, we're going to do, I'm going to also acknowledge Mary Guarino. Can the $10,000 grant be used to help pay your vendors? As soon as Mike jumps back in.
I'm here.
There he is. Okay, did you get that first question?
No, go ahead.
All right, well, it said if you keep your business open as it's an artisan bakery and you're supplying bread for your stores, does the PPP work for you, or would you have to pay it back? And I'm not sure if it's for your stores or for other stores, but maybe they can get some clarification.
I would say just knowing the app, you fill it out as if it's your EIN, your store. And did that answer the question? I think it's got to be for you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to hear back from them.
Okay.
Daniel Ciccone, thanks for tuning in. He says, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. That's a good
from Arkansas. I just didn't want to say that.
No. Okay. Well, Mary Guarino, she has a question too. Can the $10,000 grant be used to help pay her vendors?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
okay.
That's what people are. And you literally should jump off this and just go through the process and start getting exposed, gather your information, because once you enter it in one site, and then does this one relate to the other? Can I piggyback on different loans? That's where you start. Yeah.
Okay. Scott mentioned, he says that you mentioned the EIDL loan is based on credit score, personal score or the business score?
It's the personal score. And that is just from a forum that I attended yesterday. I don't have any place to verify that on the SBA site, but that's what we heard. Yeah.
Okay. And then Catherine Jacobs, she clarifies that they are a wholesaler. So her question earlier was, there it is. If your business is operating but employees might get sick, can you cover them with a Paycheck Protection form? And she's a wholesaler.
I'll get back to her. Is that okay to say that?
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, like I said,
this is incredible.
It's brand new information. This is information people want to know. So you got to figure it out, because I don't know how you store all this in your head.
If you saw all the monitors, I'm just going to do my best. So I spend 8 to 10 hours a day. I was up all night, and it changes daily. So I'm not whining. It's crazy right now.
Yeah,
and you're going to have.
Yeah. He showed me it's like the bridge of the Enterprise in his office.
I'll give you an example. Last Monday, we got on a phone call last night with the SBA and Paychecks, the actual paycheck. There were 50,000 CPAs on there. We broke the SBA site. They had to redo it. Then Friday night, someone said, Mike, just call the SBA. I was 1,319 in line. So I get up now at 3 a.m. and call East Coast just to try and get somebody who's sitting there live on the SBA. So yeah.
Well, even I was hearing too, like a lot of people are having to get up super early just to get into like people trying to file for unemployment. They're having to get up because they went from the max we ever had was 700,000. It's usually about 30,000 or something like that. But 3.3 million people jumped on it over a week. Yep. And they're saying the best time is between like 1 and 5 in the morning to get in there and sign up for that.
Right.
It's kind
So
of a,
so this is just one I do, and I'm listening in to other forums and hearing all their experiences with these organizations. The government, they weren't ready for all of this. It's amazing.
yeah.
I mean, none of us were. So
Well, and yeah, and you're doing the same thing everybody here is doing. You're trying to get in there and hear what everybody else is doing and
Yep.
asking questions of them, and maybe somebody knows the answer or maybe somebody has to learn it. So we do again appreciate your help on this. I have not seen any more questions. We might just kind of wrap it up here, but always feel free. You can send me questions. How can people reach you, Mike? How can they get in touch with you if they have some questions?
go to the My COVID CPA, and on there, engage me. All you do is fill out some information, and then I'm right there, and I can interact with you even personally. But that's the easiest way to do it. Just
Well,
go
where's
to the site.
Well, here, let me just show real quick. Maybe kind of give them a little wee tutorial. But where's the? Sorry, guys, I'm clearing up all my stuff here. Where do they actually kind of link into that to get the actual?
Right there,
can they ask you
your
questions?
COVID, right, the first radio button there. So
Your
just click
COVID
on the first
CPA.
radio. Yeah, so there's like, how can I help you?
All right, how can I help? And that's where we are. Get started.
Yeah,
Press
yeah,
enter.
and I'm not charging for it. I'm basically just going through, and I'll text back, and because what that does, there's like 8 questions. Tell me a little bit about your business, so I can have some reference on how to respond. But that's
Right.
the best way to do it. Yeah.
All right, great. And you know, the information on other places you can get information, I'm sure you're going to be putting up or letting us know in some of these updates later on. The daily tips from Michael J. Rasmussen. You can also find a lot of this information. We're going to make sure it's available at pmq.com/coronavirus. Trying to keep it as co-located as possible, make it easy for everybody to find the information they need. But again, you can feel free to reach out to me, Brian at pmq.com. Reach out to Mike through My COVID CPA. Anything like that. My Facebook is always there. I think my Facebook has my phone number, so you can call me there. And if I don't answer, send me a text or leave a message. So any final words that you want to give to the give to everybody out there?
I would say be patient, and then just like I put on there, don't wait for your advisor, and I would go sharpen your axe. Get a hold of your CPA, your banker, and don't expect anybody to just have all the answers. And so if people kind of go, I don't know, help, it's okay. We just all going to get through this together.
What would you say if somebody says they have all the answers? Do you kind of call BS on that?
Well, let me tell you what, if someone was operating, I'm going to take off my knee or take off from my ankle, from my knee down, I would probably get a second opinion, right?
Yep.
I would say everyone out here has put your blood, sweat, and tears into your independent pizzeria. You know, respectfully say, that's great, and go do your own homework. Treat this like someone's doing surgery on your business. So take it that way. And that's probably the best advice I could give somebody. And I'm not going to be offended when someone on this chat says, oh, you're wrong. I'm okay, but get a second opinion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I assume if somebody tells you you're wrong, you want to know what it was about so that you can be right.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, Mike, once again, thank you so much for your time today. This is a PMQ Live update for April 1st. I want to thank Steve Green for jumping on and asking some questions. Also, everybody and all the interaction today. This is awesome. This is all the information you guys need. And if we don't have it, we're going to try to get it to you as soon as possible. So we'll hopefully see you tomorrow. I'm going to be talking with George Taylor, another U.S. Pizza Team guy, about having just one location and how the sales are just, you know, slightly over average because he didn't have to do a whole lot of changing. But he's going to have some good insights on that because every place is different. Every business model is different, as we can see with all the options you have for loans and relief. So, Mike, I want to just say thanks one more time, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks. See you, Brian.